paid good money to see this movie. When they go out to a theater, they want cold sodas, hot popcorn, and no monsters in the projection booth.
Everyone pretend podcasting isn't boring.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Journalism isn't a vocation. It's a persona. Sources are adamant that you pushed for his resignation. Each of you will research and produce investigative segments. Whichever one of you bring me the best story.
Hi, my name is Mia Scott.
Your segment will air on the night report.
I think I have nothing.
If you want to drop the class, there's no shame.
No.
I put you in a really tough spot, giving you a place when I wasn't sure if it was for you.
It's for me.
You're gonna have to take a risk, Mia. Have you ever taken a risk?
Oh my God. Are you okay? You live here?
You sound surprised. You should see the other guy.
Did you draw these?
Like,
They're incredible. Hey, do you remember Charlotte Novak?
The famous children's author? Didn't she accidentally overdose?
Turns out he's Charlotte Novak's kid. He's this amazing artist.
That's not a story.
What is? That Charlotte killed herself.
That they hid it. Why? He has a secret, and it's burning him up inside. What you do becomes the story. If you act like he's fine, he'll look fine. How I act tells people how to perceive you. Maybe they see a mother-daughter or a friend. Maybe more.
Shouldn't you be in school?
I go sometimes.
I don't care if your subjects end up hating you.
What would your mom say about that?
You're there to do whatever it takes to get the truth.
Turn it off. I said turn it off.
It doesn't matter the bridges that you burn to get there.
You don't know what I had to do.
Do what has to be done.
Hey folks, welcome to a special episode of The Projection Booth. I'm your host, Mike White. On this episode, I'm talking with Roxine Helberg. She is the writer and director of the brand new movie Cold Copy. It is a thriller based in the world of journalism, and it really does capture the zeitgeist of everybody who's chasing after clicks. Had a great time talking with Miss Helberg, and I hope you enjoyed the interview. I'd love to know a little bit more about you and even just how you got interested in filmmaking.
I was raised in France and Belgium, and I went to NYU, and I thought I was going to be a journalist, and I took a documentary filmmaking class, and I fell in love with filmmaking. And that's how it all started. How this specific story came about is, I think about 10 years ago, I started to notice this new pressure to present a sort of idealized version of yourself thanks to social media and the internet, and to bend the image of yourself to attract more attention or likes. And what was really interesting about it was the fact that something parallel was happening in journalism with the rise of clickbait and those kind of self-creating stories. And so there was basically this attention economy emerging that was bleeding from the internet and into our culture. And it was affecting what we were consuming. And so we ended up with a system that doesn't reward being truthful in the first place, and that teaches people to be quick and provocative and interesting. And I wanted to explore the effect of that psychologically, what that does to us on a personal level. And I've always loved writing transgressive, flawed women. So that was the angle I decided to take on it, this sort of power dance between two female characters who were becoming increasingly corrupted by this sort of desperate need to present themselves and their journalistic work in a certain way.
Yeah, how much of this did you pull from yourself versus other people? Because like you said, this is a cultural thing now. This is not just an isolated incident. I can think of a few people that have, quote unquote, led the way. But I love that you were involved in journalism and that some of this mirrors yourself.
It was really liberating to write this because I think that pressure to conform to a specific set of traits is particularly felt by women. I know that I've felt it. And in this story, I was getting to play out the sort of worst case scenario of that pressure. So it almost became like a cautionary tale to myself.
When did you actually start writing the screenplay?
I started in 2017. I feel lucky that once we decided to go out with the script, it all came together relatively quickly.
How did COVID affect you?
During COVID, we went out to cast. I knew that this whole story rested on the duality of the two main characters, Mia and Diane, and that sort of gap between their outward presentation and their true selves. And in her work, Belle has this incredible ability to ride the line between being wide-eyed and naive on the one hand and sharp and considered and almost intimidating on the other. And so we need the audience to believe Mia could go either way, either fall into Diane's pull or loosen up via Igor and realize she's on the wrong path. And I knew Belle could pull that off like no one else. Tracy is charisma embodied, but she can also plumb these incredible emotional depths when she wants to, and it's effortless. And that was perfect for Diane because you need the audience to be wowed by her and to fall under her spell little in the way that Mia does. So that when these deeper emotional cracks start to show, it has real impact. And I love to challenge the norm when it comes to casting. And I hadn't seen Tracy play a character like Diane yet. And she's the opposite of Diane. And by the way, Belle is the opposite of Mia. So there's warm and spontaneous. So I was just really excited to see them play characters like that.
How was it working with actors? Because I know this was not your first time. You've worked with a lot of people before, but how was it helping them shape their performances?
Going from writing to directing, it's like you're taking everything on the page as you imagine it and you're trying to manifest it, all the while realizing that some things are impossible and some things are going to transform. And that's also what's really exciting about it. Like the way the actors bring their characters to life and give them new facets you never thought of, or happy accidents. Also, these actors are not just really talented, they're also really interesting people. And work is coming out of them. And you inspire them, but they also inspire you. And so as the film progresses, you're working with this amazing cast, and it's as if the movie starts to make itself and it starts telling you what it should be, and you hold the reins just enough to get it there. You learn not to be too precious about what's in your head because ultimately it'll never be as raw and invigorating as what happens naturally on the day. In a way, it's really about being as present as possible.
What were some of your biggest challenges making this movie?
I suppose that we had to shoot this in 20 days. So in a way, the whole process felt a bit like running an assault course blindfolded. And then at the end, taking the blindfold off and being amazed that I hadn't broken every bone in my body. And that speaks to how amazing the entire crew and cast were. That even without a minute to spare during shooting, everyone came together and navigated the insanity beautifully. Film is an assemble, and a big part of the job as a director is having the ability to pick the right collaborators. And my cinematographer, Matteo Coco, so talented. He's from Italy. My editor, Arne Pimoller, German editor. Toti Gunnarsson, my music composer, is from Iceland. He did a really wonderful job of creating a score that added an additional layer to the scene as opposed to just showing us what we were already seeing. They all have such different backgrounds, and so it creates this sort of boiling pot of creativity and ideas. And I find that really exciting.
How did the project change from that original script to what we see today?
When you're writing, it's a draft. When you're shooting, it's another draft. When you're editing, it's another draft. And like I was saying earlier, because of the nature of filmmaking and how collaborative everybody participates in shaping it into what it finally is. And that's also what's exciting about it, is the way it transforms, the way actors bring their characters to life and give new facets, and the happy accidents you can discover in editing. Depending on what shot you put next to each other, next to another shot, it might create a whole new meaning to the scene. The transformative aspect of it is really exciting. I've worked with Arndt on a short film, and I knew what a talented storyteller he was. From characters to structure to pace, he has this sort of natural understanding of visual language and how to affect viewers emotionally. And we also have a very similar sensibilities, and I trust his taste. And so having a similar background like that was really helpful to the collaborative process, because you're operating from the same frame of reference. And so there's a kind of pre-existing shorthand you're using that just makes everything run a little bit smoother. It also meant that each of us always understood the vision the other had for the film, or even a particular moment in it. And it was easier to be creative or to find solutions to editing challenges because there was always this base level of mutual understanding. And he had ideas I hadn't thought of that made some of the scenes more compelling. So that's the magic of collaboration.
Now, when was your premiere for this?
It was at Tribeca in June 2023. And it is coming out Friday in theaters and on VOD and digitally. And it's just been incredible. It's been exciting and nerve-wracking and surprising. And to be here and get to share the result with people is just a fantastic feeling. So all I can hope for is that audiences take something away from it, no matter how small that thing is, and that it's a fun ride.
Roxine, thank you so much for your time. This was great talking with you.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Thank you so much.
It's interesting.